Hey everybody, Erica here from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I always forget to say like, share, subscribe, hype, but please do all of those things. It really helps the channel to grow. So, um, just a heads up on what's coming for the weekend. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to do a live and I will take your questions, not personal ones, your questions about the state of the country and the state of the world. I just feel like there's so much going on. I wanted to give you all a chance to ask the questions that are really uppermost in your mind. Um, so that'll be tomorrow. I'm thinking at mm, 5 Pacific. So that will be 8 p.m. Eastern. So I will put the notification up so that you'll be able to see that and you can get notified if you've hit the bell. Um, the other thing is that Sunday I will have an interview up that I'm going to be doing on Sunday with astrologer Sheila Haidt. I have had her on a couple of times. You all really like her, and I haven't actually spoken to an actual astrologer, definitely not a black one, since all of the brouhaha in the astrological community with Stephen Forrest happened. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to ask her what are the energies coming in for the fall that we need to be aware of. And she's terrific. So I hope you will tune in for that. That will be a recorded video that will be up sometime Sunday evening, I think. Okay. And we're going to record it Sunday afternoon. So today I have a couple of readings to do after this video, so this will be brief. But I did want to see if the cards would give me any information about how this situation with Natalie Harp will end up. For those who don't know or need a refresher, she is someone who's been in the felon's orbit for the past 3 or 4 years. She believes, apparently, that he is responsible for her getting a medication that cured her of bone cancer. In fact, that medication was already out, and her own doctor says that the felon had nothing to do with her beating that illness. But she thinks that he does. And so, therefore, she believes that he is responsible for her life. And she has sworn her allegiance to him in a really over the top way. You may have heard about the two letters that have been made public by um, Michael Wolff, who loves to hold on to material until it's advantageous to him to put it out. So, not a fan of that. But at any rate, the the letters are very effusive and detailed, and clearly the writings of a woman who is besotted by her boss. And she, as we suspected, apparently is the conduit that people need to go through to get to him. We know that Laura Loomer, who's another nut, entertainment purposes only, just saying, has befriended her because Laura Loomer was smart enough to realize that the way to get to him was through Natalie. We know that Susie Wiles, who is the chief of staff and really should be the guard dog, if you're trying to get to the felon, has kind of thrown up her hands uh, and doesn't know what to do because Natalie has supplanted even Susie Wiles. um, we know that foreign entities, foreign actors, if they want to get through to him, do it through her. I mean, all of this is documented. So it's become quite quite a source of gossip, but also a source of concern, uh, because I mean it's a national security risk that you have someone who seemingly, again, entertainment purposes only, and allegedly, seems to be unbalanced, so close to the felon. Now, we know that the felon, as a malignant narcissist, allegedly, um, loves this kind of attention. I mean, he sees nothing wrong with it. But there may be forces at play that try to separate them. And I I am concerned if they stay glued to each other. I am concerned if they are separated, because either situation could have, um, an interesting outcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the young woman for Natalie Harp. Now she's 35. I mean, that is a young woman. Um, she's 45 years younger than he is. So I'm going to just use the young woman, and I want to know, how will this situation play out? How will the Natalie Harp situation play out? And that will be the focus for this reading. Again, tomorrow, bring your questions. It can be on her, it can be on any number of other things that you might want to ask, but they should all be questions that are of interest to the collective. So, not your personal questions. Thanks. Okay, Natalie Harp, how will this end? Okay. All right, so we're looking for the young woman that's standing for Natalie Harp, and she pops right up pretty fast. Okay. And of course, I've pulled 5 cards, but we're going to need more. So I'm going to pull 3 clarifiers for each of those original 5 cards. And then I'm going to pull what I call a postscript, which is just sort of a final 3 cards. Okay. All right. So our original line of 5 is the moon, the whip, Natalie Hart, the ship, and the fox. Um, these two concern me. Her name, her reputation is just being attacked and assailed. I mean, I think she's not well psychologically, but I'm not a doctor, so don't take it from me. I just found out I have to have cataract surgery, so obviously I'm not an eye surgeon either, because I had no idea. But anyway, don't take it from me. But the cards are indicating that her reputation is just being pilloried. This is a whip, and she is the laughing stock everywhere. Um, in one of her letters to him, the 2 that were just publicized, she makes mention of the fact that the opinions of some people, and these opinions, she said, didn't used to affect her, had started to affect her. And that was part of why she might seem to him off or, underslept or not having eaten or she's under a lot of stress. Well, this is before these letters came out. And remember that these letters were private letters that she typed up and left in his private space. But so some insider gave those letters to Michael Wolff. That's why we have them. So she doesn't have friends there. Um, and she must be feeling really attacked, her personhood attacked. And again, if she's got this sort of image of the felon as sort of messianic in her life, he is her Messiah, he is her God, and that kind of is how the letters make it seem. Having that be made fun of has got to feel um, really painful, which is concerning, right? I mean, she's already not um, the healthiest specimen, I will just say, in terms of mental health. But here, she's really taking a beating. Her reputation's taking a beating. She's here in the center, and then we have the ship. So I think that she very well could be hounded and harassed and driven out of his orbit. We have Melania showing up yesterday, holding hands with the felon, even though she didn't want to. I mean, it's got to be humiliating for Natalie because Melania couldn't care less. But, she is first lady. So it just makes um, Natalie look, I mean, I hate to say it, even more pathetic. So I think she will leave. Um, and then we have this Fox card. And I think that sh her departure is going to have to be, I feel like, carefully orchestrated so that she doesn't go off any deep end, if you get my drift. Be careful what I say for the algorithm. But, no one wants her to go off any deep end. And so I think this will have to be carefully orchestrated. Okay, let's go back to the moon. The moon is reputation, and it's also your own sense of yourself. I always say, your own understanding of your right to take up space in the world in the way that you do. And her understanding of her right to take up space is that, he saved her so that she owes him her life, her fealty, her loyalty, her time, her attention. She lives to serve him. That's where her head is right now. Um, and the clarifiers are the house, the heart, and the child, right? So, this is her sense of self, and this is everything about her. This is her mind, her body, her soul, her everything is in service to him. She loves him. But I don't, just so you know, I don't think there's any you know what involved. We'll call it hanky panky for the sake of the algorithm. I think there is, I think it's innocent. I think I think it's like a father fixation. He is a God figure to her, and she acts in a very, not even teenage, well, yeah, maybe teenage kind of infatuated way. Um, she she is subservient to him in every way, but I don't think that you know what is part of it. I don't. I just don't. Um, so here we have the whip, and this is all the well, I was going to say abuse that she's taking, but she certainly takes abuse from him. I mean, she even said, curse me out if you feel like I deserve it. So, which means that he's done that before, right? But of course, now she's a national and international laughing stock. So she's taking abuse from the public, from every quarter. She's taking this abuse. Now, what's concerning is we have the coffin and we have the bear. I mean, I worry for her mental health. We know what this means. I don't need to break this down. And this is, to me, just being overwhelmed by the pressure. Because, you know, let's say the pressure is something that she says is too much to take. She can't take all of the memes and the jokes and all of that. And so she'll leave. Well, she can't leave because she believes that her life purpose is to serve him. He has said she'll never leave me because he understands um, her psychology. And as a malignant narcissist, he's just as happy to have her be at his beck and call, his command. But this feels to me like overwhelm to the point that she would consider this. Okay, I'm sure we understand each other. Here she is in the center. Clarifiers are the book, the clouds, and of course he shows up. Here he is, the felon. She doesn't know what to do. She really, truly, she's caught between a rock and a hard place. Because he'll defend her, but only as far as it doesn't make him look bad. It has started to make him look bad, which means that his defense of her is not going to be, he's not going to be a knight in shining armor coming to her defense. That's not going to happen. And so she is left really at sixes and sevens. She doesn't know what to do. This is about things we don't know. This is her confusion. All I'm trying to do is serve our president who saved my life by making that drug accessible. He didn't make the drug accessible. It was already accessible. That's what her own doctor says. But this is what she believes in her head. He has become a messianic figure to her. She doesn't know what to do in regard to him. This is why I worry about this for her. Okay, but the fourth line begins with the ship, and the clarifiers are crossroads, sun, and clover. I think that there will be a way to extract her from him. There will have to be that. So that they're on their two different paths that will make her happy. I don't know what that is. I can't imagine what that could be. Like, I don't know, a permanent position at Mar-a-Lago, but stay there. Don't come up here to the White House. Or a permanent position in Bedminster, but stay there and don't come to the White House. They have to figure out a way to separate them that keeps her happy. And they have to do it fast. And I'll tell you what, I think somebody does. I think somebody figures it out. Like if he says to her something like, I'm trying to think what would be, Natalie, I have 5 kids, but I feel like you are my third daughter. In fact, you are the daughter who I always wished I had because you're the one who is more loyal to me than the other two. So I just want you to know that I am looking out for your best interests, your health and welfare, and you are and always will be a daughter to me. Well, that could be good enough for her, especially if she's given proximity to something of his, like again, Mar-a-Lago, for example. Because the clarifiers here are the key, the lily, and the bouquet. There has to be some way of rewarding her that makes her say, yes, okay, and in a peaceful, calm way, um, leaving the premises. Because he's taking a lot of heat now from even his Republican, um, loyalists. Uh, this final card, bouquet, I can mirror with the very first card, which is the moon. So I think that he will paint her as this really loyal person, like a daughter to me, and reward her in some way. Now, remember, her ultimate reward is proximity to him, but she's also working herself to death. She's not eating, she's not sleeping, she's running after the car. I mean, there's got to be an easier way to be somebody's daughter than working yourself to the bone to prove that that's who you want to be. So I think he will make some declaration like that, offer her something, um, so that she'll have proximity but not power. And it won't be proximity at the White House. Because I told you I drew this 3 card postscript. So it's like a postscript meaning sometimes the postscript will say, yeah, all that's true. And sometimes the postscript is, yeah, all that's true, but, and it's a caveat. So here it feels like kind of both and a caveat. This is the card for government. So she is very laced into the government, and that has to stop. That has to end. That has to be cut off. I mean, come on. Um, but her feelings have to be taken into account. I think it's going to have to be something like he says, "You are my sixth child. In fact, I'm even going to cut you into the will as my sixth child. A matter of fact, I'm going to adopt you. Let's draw that paperwork up, everybody, because she is really my true daughter." Otherwise, if I think if it's anything short of that, I worry that her mental health may move her to do something that we don't want to see have happen. We don't want that to happen. So that's what I think. I think there will be some way of offering her something. And the something can't be like money, right? It has to be continued access. But he'll say something like, look, even Ivanka, she worked for me. And then she decided that no, it would be better for the um, family harmony for me not to work for you. And that's why Jared still works for him. That's why Ivanka doesn't work for me anymore. And I feel the same way about you. You've been wonderful. I couldn't have, you've been better than my other daughters. And but because I think of you as a daughter, I don't want you to have to work like this. And so just be content to be my daughter, the daughter that I wish that I had had, the best of the three, the favorite of my children. You are child number 6. That's what I think. Uh, and I mean, it's not that he means it, right? Because he doesn't care about anybody but himself. But I think it's what he's going to have to say so that we don't have some awful thing happen in the Oval Office that would cause us to need what, stain remover for the Resolute desk. I think she is unwell, and he's going to have to find a way to make her feel that she's even closer, while at the same time her influence in government is ended, because that has to happen with that uh, tower and scythe. This is untenable. It can't continue. So let's see. That's what I think. Um, one more thing. I know there are people out there who are saying that August 22nd is an incredibly auspicious day for him. Inauspicious, I guess I would say. Dangerous day for him. So I just want to look quickly at him tomorrow. Is anything, do I need to know anything? Do we need to know anything particular about tomorrow, the 22nd of August? So we'll use the man card, the older man, for him, and let's just see what tomorrow holds for him, if anything. And I mean, I'm sure tomorrow will hold a lot of things, but whether there's anything that pops out at us, and then I'll leave it at that. And I'll just pull 5 cards unless I get something really interesting. Okay, so we're looking for the felon, the older man. Oh, okay, this stands for you know who. And we want to know if there's anything that will go on with him tomorrow. Hmm, I'm not seeing what other people are seeing, except to say this. So we have the tree. This is the card for health. We have the heart. He does have heart issues. So who knows? Here he is in the center. The fourth card is the clover. The fifth card is the older woman. We know that Melania, who popped up at that event yesterday and said, I hear you missed me. Here I am. I mean, what a. mm. But this is the card for health. Sometimes the heart is love, that's true, but sometimes the heart is, things coronary, right? So don't be surprised if we get news, but we may not. Um, Clover is a great card. It's lucky, of course, right? But sometimes it has nothing to do with anything positive. Sometimes it's just speaks to speed, something happening fast. Uh, in this, I just pulled cards on him here in the center, and we have the lily, the whip, and the bouquet. I mean, he is feeling beleagued, besieged, as he should. That's the whip. And he just wants to redecorate stuff and play golf. That's all. That's his idea of calm, peace. And so probably this weekend, that's exactly what he'll do. We know that Chief Justice John Roberts has said that his ballroom can continue to be built while the uh, broader court um, considers taking up the issue, which is ridiculous. But anyway, that he's very happy about that. That is the one bit of good news that he's gotten this week. So he will focus on his ballroom and building whatever he's going to build and tearing down whatever he's going to tear down. That's his happy place. So I don't think the weekend, or the 22nd anyway, tomorrow will be eventful beyond that, unless we hear about some cardiac event. And there could be one and we don't even hear about it, just so you know, because, the White House is has full hospital paraphernalia and people, so we wouldn't necessarily know. So I don't see anything dire for tomorrow for him. I think it'll be business as usual, his usual weekend um, of, you know, not doing the people's business the right way, but lining his own pockets and, continuing to destroy the White House and practice greed and grift. So maybe I'll be surprised. That would be great, but I don't see any major cataclysmic thing happening. All right, you all. Um, I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I will take your questions. So, because that'll be live. And then Sunday, do look for the video with astrologer and tarot master Sheila Haidt. That will be recorded. So I hope you will join us for both those. All right. So see you soon. Take care.